Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your end of August 2022 general tarot reading. It's Rena here. Um, so we have the new moon in your fellow Earth sign, Virgo, coming up on the 27th. And so that is a friendly angle, a trine to you from your sun to that fifth house, which is a house of love and creativity. And, that's really nice. And we have some great cards here, ending. The beginning card might be a little bit much, but then we have this. Okay, so let's look at the central theme here. And the Devil card, people go, oh my God, the Devil card, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean, anything satanic or anything like that. It's, you see the two people that are bound with that chain. And it really, and they're naked because it's to show that lust is something that keeps people enslaved. And, it's been made to be connected to something evil, but it really is ignorance. What we call evil is really ignorance. It's putting too much importance on the material and thinking that that's going to do it for you, and actually sacrificing other things like your peace of mind, because I have that card. When I look at the higher message card, we have the Nine of Swords, which is a card of anxiety. So what in your life, Taurus, have you sold your soul basically for? And I mean, I don't know if everyone is going to resonate with this message. Maybe you don't resonate with it. But with Taurus, I would say that there are two main things: materialism and lust. Those are the two main things that you might find that you tend to be lured into doing. So if you're in a relationship with someone, and it could even be like, it might not be that the relationship is lust on your end. Like an example is, let's say you have a sugar daddy, or if you are somebody who has gotten involved with someone and you were really attracted to the fact that they made a lot of money, and then it's like you realized that you were dealing with the devil. When I see the Devil card, I think of a narcissist. And really, sometimes people think when they are dealing with true narcissists that they're dealing with somebody who is evil, because that person will not have empathy. They can hurt you and not even blink. And so they're very dangerous in that sense, because they can, destroy a person emotionally. And that can be, that sense of anxiety where they gaslight you and make you think that you're crazy for wanting to leave, for wanting to, have this treatment stop. They might tell you that you deserve it. So if you have gotten involved with somebody, maybe they kind of lured you with the money that they made, and maybe sometimes it's a sexual thing where it's like one person has the money and one person is like the sex object. And I was going to say the woman is the sex object, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It might be that the man is the one who is the boy toy kind of thing. But in any case, that kind of arrangement can be soul sucking, where it just like sucks your soul at your soul. So the bottom line is that this is an unhealthy relationship, to say the least. It could even be like in the workplace. I'm not going to ignore that, because you might be doing something that you feel is wrong, like working for a kind of thing that you feel is hurting people, but you are trying to make the money. And it's really, it can be like this tricky thing because you might be doing something that is technically legal, but you still think that it is immoral. You still think that that whatever it is that you're doing isn't helping people, it's actually hurting them. And yet you feel like, oh my God, how am I going to make money? If you feel like what you're doing is not right, then you are right in trying to find a way to exit that situation. It makes perfect sense because in Buddhism, there's something called right livelihood, which means that, what you do to make money has to have some kind of benefit to others. It can't be something that's harmful to others, or then it's not right livelihood. And yeah, so and even what I'm doing here, I really thought about it because you really should think about it because it can, there can be those fine lines where you think, well, is this really right livelihood? And it's always good to ask that question. So, in the past position here, we have the Devil card, and this is a card of leaving behind something that is stressful and seeking the peace um, around, that you're looking for and wanting that kind of peace in your life. And that can come from, you know, realizing that what you got involved with isn't something that is enhancing your life. So, again, if this is a relationship issue, you may, let's say you have a child with somebody who you think is a narcissist. That person may still be in your life because of the kids. If you have kids with this person, and you may feel like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get free from that person? Remember that sometimes these people use children to try to get to the other person, and they don't really care. The kids are like props to them. But you can't feed into their games because that's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for that kind of drama, negative um, interactions. They feed on that kind of thing. And so it's very important to see them for who they are if you're dealing with that. I'm also talking about like a boss. So if you're getting away from a job like that, and that person, maybe they're trying to what do they call it? Blacklist you, blackball you from getting work in that industry. Rather than feed into um, their negativity, you can take the high road and just unplug from it, because sometimes people are like, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to, um, I'm going to tell everybody what an evil person this is. But then it can just keep you in that that negative attraction, or that energetic bond that's of a negative variety. So you have to tread very carefully when you're dealing with somebody like this for multiple reasons. What crosses you is the Queen of Pentacles. So if you have been one of those Taurians who have been kind of free spending and not been careless with your money, maybe you don't have the kind of, you kind of thought, hey, the gravy train is, going to just keep rolling endlessly. And then you realize you want to exit a certain situation. You may feel like you're scrambling. So it's a good time to look at your finances, see where you have neglected things in terms of being able to be, I would say also just, to me, this is a very domestic energy. And if you are in a situation where you have left a job because of a boss or the type of work that is really not what you think is good, for humanity's sake, or if you have a boss that's from hell and you've left that job, but now you're anxious about money, um, maybe it's time to come back to your roots, Taurus, because Taurus people, they can get, I think they can get a little bit blinged out and kind of like in that whole materialism thing. But a Taurus person that's really well grounded can be happy with a very simple life. Because you're a natural person. You love natural things. You love nature. That's what natural means. So instead of needing to go to like the latest concert or whatever that costs like hundreds of dollars just for a night out, you might begin to shift into something more natural. I see the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position as somebody who really loves being a homebody and really just loves cooking and doing all those divine feminine things, and isn't like in need of that artificial stimulation, because truly, packing a picnic, that can be so much more gratifying than going to some fancy restaurant where it just feels like an artificial situation, maybe isn't even as good, it doesn't live up to the hype and costs all this money. And it's like you feel this sense of bonding with the person you're with because you might be in a beautiful location and you're just taking in all the natural scenery. Can you tell I have Taurus rising? Well, I do. That's something that I would do. So what's coming in is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, there's a lot of Taurus activation, actually. Mars is in Taurus as I speak. The North Node it's probably still activated for August, in conjunction with Uranus and the North Node. And so for Taurus people, this can be opportunities that present themselves sometimes like, what came into my mind was once in a lifetime opportunities. I have to learn not to filter what comes into my mind. But in any case, I feel like the wheel can turn, like there's a turning point, and this can be in August. And, Leo season is leading to Virgo season as we go into the last part of the month. But the fourth house has been already activated through the sun and other personal planets in Leo, and that can stimulate domestic affairs. And that's why I said with the Queen of Pentacles in the challenged position, you may realize that you have to shift focus, and it could be a little bit jolting because you may need to reprioritize your life. And that's not a bad thing. You might have gotten off track, Taurus, and now is your opportunity to really get clear on what is important to you in this life. And, not surprisingly, the outcome card is the Ace of Swords, and this is about gaining clarity. I think I have a deck that depicts this, but at least in my mind, I think of that sword coming out of a murky swamp, and that's like algae, like hanging onto the sword. I don't know if I'm like totally off on that, but the idea is like cutting through illusion in order to, change your mindset to something that is more in alignment. And I see the Wheel of Fortune as alignment with what it is that you are wanting for your next phase of life. The Wheel of Fortune can be the cycle in your life. And it's like, what do you want to manifest in your life? And sometimes we get sidetracked, and that's what the devil card can be. And another way of looking at this too, if this is relationship related, is love versus sex, love versus, being with somebody because of money. And if you have been, in that position, I say this a lot, and I always question it because I have a lot of earth in my chart, and I think to myself, why do I keep talking about money? But I think that I do because a lot of people get off track because of materialism. But some people have come from, actual a lack in their past. And that, you shouldn't beat yourself up if you have felt the need to hyper focus on material resources because, you come from a history of not having much, because that's just the way that the matrix has tried to suck people into thinking that that's everything. And obviously it's not, and you find that out very quickly when when people marry for the material security that they're hoping to get, and they find and the love is lacking. They can like be a sucker punch to the gut, because it's like, oh man, you know, it isn't enough. It just isn't enough, especially if that other person is very controlling and trying to manipulate through it. But the same thing is with the work that you do. If you don't feel like what you're doing is helping humanity, if it's neutral, if it's like if you're bagging groceries, it's not hurting anybody, but it may not be your passion in life, but at least it's something that is honest, that is neutral. That's a different story. That's not what I'm talking about here, and that wouldn't be what the devil represents. It's unless you have a boss from hell, then that might be. But I think you get the gist. And the Nine of Swords is like your conscience kind of eating away at you. And it's with Uranus transing your sign, Taurus, you're going to surprise yourself probably at some point in the next few years with the things that you are capable of doing that you never thought you would do. And I'm really talking about breaking free of any constraints that you have, because Uranus can help you, can make you want that freedom, but also be able to do so without looking back. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I primarily do astrology readings because that's my first love, but I obviously do tarot as well. I have package deals where it's like extensive astrology readings called my deep dive readings. They're at a special price because you're buying 2 full-length readings, an hour of chart analysis with an hour of upcoming transits for the next 12 months. And I have one that combines astrology and the tarot called my whole enchilada reading. So you can find out about those and other readings at the link below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.